this place.
Amen.
And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. How many of you are grateful today?
Amen.
I'm so grateful for what the Lord is doing in our lives. I'm grateful for what He's already done.
Amen.
How many of you are glad about what He's done for you in the past? And I know He's going to do some great things in our future.
Yes.
But as I was thinking this morning and I was just giving God praise, I was praising God for what He's already done.
Yes.
Amen. See, we've got to get excited about what God has already done. Because when you get excited about what He's already done, you know you can depend on Him for your future. Come on. And now whatever situation or circumstance you face, I want you to know that God will be there.
Thank God.
God will never leave you, nor will He forsake you.
Thank you, Lord.
How many of you know that God is faithful? I know Him to be a faithful God. He will not let you down. Whatever problem or whatever circumstance you face, He's not going to let you down. He's going to be right there. Sometimes we think that, my God, where is He? But believe me, He's there. God is omnipotent. He's all powerful. He's all powerful. I want you to know that He's omniscient. He's all knowing. He knows exactly what you are going through today. He knows what your future holds. Come on, somebody. I said He knows what your future holds. He knows everything that you're going through and what you're going to be facing. That's why we don't have to worry about tomorrow. We don't have to worry about tomorrow because He already knows all about it. He's already taken care of it. Don't worry about it. He already knows about it, and it will be taken care of at the proper time. Come on and give God a hand praise. So we need to know that God is faithful. I just think that we need to know that God is 100% reliable. 100% all the time. Is that all right? He's 100% reliable and 100% all the time. And whatever the situation is, you can count on God. You can count on God. He is faithful. The Lord is faithful. I want you to know that God has brought me out of many, many things, and He has proven Himself to be faithful. He does not fail. How many of you know that He doesn't fail? He doesn't forget. He doesn't forget anything. He doesn't falter. He's always there. God is faithful. He's faithful. Whatever you need Him to be, you can count on Him because He's faithful. And not only is He faithful, but He's just. Isn't that all right? He's just. See, we serve a just God. And I'm so glad about that. We serve a God that once He has said something, I want you to know that Psalms 89 and 34 says that He's not going to change it. Come on, somebody. He said, my covenant I will not break nor alter what comes out of my mouth. He said, if it comes out of my mouth, I'm not going to change it. If it comes out of the Word, and if He says it in the Word, He's not going to change it. He said He's not going to alter it. He's not going to change it. You can put your confidence, you can put your trust in it. If He said it, I want you to know, He said, you can depend on it. Why? Because God is faithful. He's faithful. So whatever He says and whatever He says and whatever His Word says, you can count on it. I believe He says in Isaiah 55 and 11, He says when He sends His Word out, it will accomplish that that he has sent it to do, and it will not return unto him void. So if his word goes out, and if his word says it, it's not coming back void. It's going to what? It's going to accomplish that thing that he sent it to do. So whatever he wants to do in our lives, God will do it. Come on and clap your hands. That's just how powerful the word of God is. He says, whatever it is, he says, if I send my word out, he said, it's going to accomplish it. You don't have to worry about whether it's going to happen. You don't have to worry about if it's going to be all right. He said, it will accomplish that thing that I sent it to do. It's not coming back to me void.
Amen.
How many of you are glad about that? That's why we have to understand that we don't have anything to worry about. We don't have to worry about tomorrow. God is already taking care of it. He's already taken care of it. We just have to put our confidence. We have to trust in him. The scripture says, trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not to your own understanding.
Amen.
In other words, just put all your confidence in God. He said, just trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In other words, he says, just depend on me.
Amen.
Now, I know that people, and we are certain ones, or people are going through things, or different things, or difficulties in life, but don't worry about it. Trust in God because he's faithful.
Hallelujah.
He's faithful to bring you out.
Praise it.
Yes.
Now, I was thinking doing and what God has done. And I began to think about some of the things that how God has answered prayer. How many of you know that God will give you a direction? He will give you guidance.
Amen.
Amen.
Oh yes, he will.
Amen.
He'll give you direction and he'll give you guidance if you are trusting in him.
Amen.
If you're dependent on him, you don't have to worry about it. Doesn't matter how it looks. It may look like, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this. I don't know if I'm coming out of this. But honey, I want you to know God will bring you out.
Amen.
Simply because God is faithful. Is that all right? Simply because he's faithful. And I'm just thinking, I said, I remember some years ago that when I first started pastoring a church and this particular church and those, most of you know the testimony of this church, but I want you to know when I first started pastoring this church, they were in debt. And they were in debt big time. There was 2 mortgages on the building, just a small ministry, and one of them, and I won't give you the numbers, but one of them had a high interest rate. One that's unbelievable. And that was the one that was lagging behind. And when you have a high interest rate, you all know about interest rate, right? You have high interest rate and you're behind in it. I want you to know you're looking at some real trouble.
Amen.
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 And there was a man that came. I'll just go ahead and say it. It was a preacher that came and he asked me. He says, "Listen, I know that you're just beginning your ministry." He said, "I know that you're just getting started." He said, "Why don't I just come on in with my congregation and you preach one Sunday and I preach one Sunday?" And I said, "Don't think so, don't think so, don't think so. God has not given me to do this." And I thought, being a young minister at that time, why would I do such a thing? I need to try to find out where I was in ministry. And then with this debt thing in front of me, I wanted to remain focused on what God was doing and what God was saying at that particular time. And and he knew about the debt. He knew about the situation because he knew I had just came on board for being a pastor. And so I told him, "No, I don't think so." And he says, "Now, I don't know why you would not do this." He says, "I just don't know why you would not do this." He says, "Because that church to bring you out of debt?
My God.
And I said, I'm not depending on people.
My God.
I'm depending on God. I'm not depending on people to bring the church out of debt.
Amen.
And God just kept putting it in my spirit. And so you can imagine he thought, okay, that's not working for whatever his agenda is. Because you know, folk have an agenda sometimes.
Yes.
But I told him, I said, I'm not depending on God. I mean on people. But I'm depending on God. And as we went forward, God just began to move.
Amen.
And I want you to know, he woke me up one morning. And I don't know why we're going this way, but he woke me up this one morning. And he says, I want you not to go to work. He said, I want you to go up to these attorney's office. Those that hold that loan. I want you to go there. And anybody who might know me, I'm a lot better now, but in those days I was the worst with directions. They were way up in the mountains. I couldn't even get back there today.
My God.
If I wanted to. But I didn't go into work, but I got in my car and I went way up in the mountains. And I was prepared to stay there because God had told me to go there.
Amen.
And when I got there, the secretary told me, she says, he can't see you. Well, I didn't have an appointment. So I said, well, that's okay. I'll just sit here and wait I'll just wait until he's able to see me. But make a long story short, because I don't want to bore you. To make a long story short, I sat there. And then she came back out and she says, he's still not able to see you. I said, that's okay. I'll just sit and wait some more.
Yeah.
See, when God speaks to you and you know that God has spoken to you, you just sit and wait it out. You're not in a hurry. So you can't get in a hurry when God speaks. So finally she came out and she says, well, they have called the people. He has called them and he has told, they have told him that they're busy and they can't really meet and talk with him, so he can't talk with you. I said, okay, I'll just wait and see if he can, talk with them later. So finally they called me in. They said, you can go in. No offense, but the lawyer said, no offense, Brother Anthony. The lawyer said to me, he said, I don't appreciate you coming up here trying to tell me how to do my job.
My God.
I'm like, I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job. I'm just doing what thus says the Lord. Of course, I didn't tell him that. He says, well, I don't appreciate it, and they're busy, and this and that. He says, so I'm going to just have to keep on working. And after we talked, and I told him, really what I really wanted to happen. And so he says, well, I don't know if any of that would happen, but I just don't appreciate how you're trying to. And I'm like, where's he coming from? Where's he getting this from? I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I'm just trusting and depending on God.
Yeah.
So as I talked to him, then I said, okay, I've done what I'm supposed to do. I've met with the attorneys and everything, and I'm on my way back home now. Well, I was actually going back to work. And when I got ready to go back to work, when I got down the hill, the devil doesn't like it when God is getting ready to move. There's always something going to happen, right?
Yes. Amen. Yeah.
Believe it or not, my transmission went out.
My God.
Coming down off the mountain. And I had it all, but I guess it was called, I wasn't hitchhiking, but they pulled over and gave me a ride anyway.
My God.
I was afraid to get in, because in those days, you weren't used to the seatbelt just clicking you in.
Right.
Like, oh,
Right.
God, I'm in. I can't get out. But he took me back to work, and as I walked in the door, to get to the story, as I walked in the door, there was a note on my desk that says, call these people. That was the attorney's office.
My God.
I jumped right on the phone. And I called them and said, we have spoken with them. And they have told us to do whatever you want us to do. I thought about it when Jesus was at the wedding and making the wife say, do whatever she say, do.
Yes.
Whatever he say, do it.
Amen.
Is that all right? And that's what the message says. Do whatever she said, do. And I said, well, let's rewrite this law. Let's rewrite this law at a royal rate. Honey, God knows about our future. He knows He takes care of whatever situation. But we've got to listen to the voice of God and stand on the word of God, because His word said whatever He sends it out to do, He said it will not come back to Him void, but it will accomplish. It will accomplish that thing that He sent it to do.
Amen.
Whatever it is that God wants to happen, and I want you to know they lowered that interest rate. We paid that loan off. Come on, somebody. What are we talking about? We're talking about trusting in God and depending on God, because God is faithful. He's faithful. You see, the enemy has one agenda, but God has an agenda. Come on, somebody. See, the enemy has one agenda for you to fail. Come on. But God says, no. That you're not going to fail. This thing is not going to take you out. Come on. Right. You're going to overcome this thing. See, we have to understand that. We have to understand that when God speaks, whatever He says,
Yes.
honey, man has no control over it.
Amen. Amen.
Because God will come in and speak to their hearts. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
If God be for you, then who can be against you?
Amen.
If God be for you, who can be against you? Sometimes you wonder, what in the world is going on? Don't worry about it. If God be for you, who can be against you? Until God made this church what? Debt free. Come on and clap your hands. That may not mean much to most folks, but honey, when you are debt free from where I came from, honey, you clap your hands and you tell God, I'm thankful and I'm appreciative of what you're doing. Amen. I appreciate. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to God for what He's doing right here in this church. Honey, it lets me know that God didn't bring us this far to leave us. He's with us, people. Honey, if you're a part of this ministry, I want you to get excited with me. Amen. Because He is blessing, He is moving, but He reminded me this morning where we came from. Where we came from. When everybody else said it's not going to happen, put that property up for sale. And I said, no, I came to this city with nothing and I'll have to leave this city with nothing. I'm standing on the Word of God. Standing on the Word of God. And the Word continues to prove itself to be true.
Amen.
It continues to prove itself to be true. He said, whatever I send it out to do, it will not return unto me void. It will accomplish that I sent it to do. Whatever is happening in your life, you can trust in this word. You can trust in God. to bring you out. Is that all right?
Amen.
Remember that God has given us everything that pertains to life. You have everything you need.
Amen.
He said, I have given you everything that pertaineth to life and godliness.
Amen.
He's already given it to us. How many of you know even before I went up to the mountain, it was done? Come on, somebody. It was done already. I just need to follow the instructions and be obedient to the word of God, not even worried about, am I going to find the place?
Amen.
Right.
Because they didn't have the GPSs in those
Right.
days.
Right.
Come on, somebody. So we have to understand that God has already taken care of whatever you're facing.
Amen. Amen.
Whatever you're facing, He's already done it. Whatever you have need of, He's already provided it.
Yes.
Now I'm reminded as in Genesis the 22nd chapter when God told Abraham to go up on the mountain.
Yes.
When He told Abraham to go up there to the mountain, take his son, the one that he really loves. How many of you know that God will ask you for some things that's real close to you?
Amen.
He'll ask you to do some things that, oh, you say, I just don't know if I can part with.
Yes.
Sometimes God just want to know where we are.
Amen.
I believe He wanted Abraham, He was trying to test Abraham and let Abraham know that, Abraham, I don't need you to put your confidence in anybody else. I don't need you to put your trust in anybody. I want you to know that I'm your provider.
Amen.
I need you to know that I will make provisions for you. We must see the Lord as our provider. Not just the provider in the lower caps, but put all caps on and say, He's my provider. God wants to give us a revelation so that we'll know, and we'll know without a shadow of doubt that whatever we're facing, it's not going to be man that provides it, but it's going to be God, because God is your provider. See, we put too much confidence sometimes in man, but the Lord is your provider. And it doesn't take Him long to do what He's going to do. All He has to do is speak a word. Come on, somebody. Abraham had to get a fresh revelation to who God is, because now God is asking him to do something that he gives something that he didn't want to part with. You know, some things get real close to us, and we don't want to part with it. It's like I was telling our church this week, you know, and I think we were talking about even our finances and talking about giving and being faithful to the ministry. And some folks don't like you to talk about money. They don't like you to talk about that because they think that, hey, you know, the preacher's not supposed to preach about that. But how many of you know we're supposed to preach about everything that's going to benefit you?
Amen.
Amen. We need to preach about the whole word. Every word that's in the Bible. Come on.
Amen.
And we know for a fact that if you give, it's going to be given back to you. Come on. That God will prosper you. But some folks say, you know what? I came to church to hear something spiritual. Oh, talk about no money. I came, amen, to get uplifted in my spirit.
Amen.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But listen, God is concerned about every area of your life. And sometimes He just wants to find out where you are. Do you, like you scripture said, the love of money is the root of all evil. Now, money is not evil, is it?
Right.
Because you do pay your gas with it, right? Your lights,
Yes.
your water. When you go to the store, you give it to them, right?
Yes.
You need it.
Right.
You need it, so it's nothing wrong with it.
Amen.
But the Lord wants to know, can you part with it? Can you part with it? Can you part of that when it's really close to you? And you know our wallets and our purses are very close to us. Isn't that right?
Amen. Amen.
It's not kind of hard. It's sort of like that thing that we really care about. And God sometimes will test us in that area. He wants to know, are you really freed up yet to serve? Is that all right? He wants to know if you're really freed up. Somebody said, I don't know if God is concerned. I don't know if he's concerned about my money. Well, he is concerned about it because he talked about the tithes and the offering in Malachi. And he said that, will a man rob God? If you rob God, you might rob anybody.
Amen.
That's free. That's off the cut. I won't say whoever. That's off the cut. Is that all right? Listen, he says, will a man rob God? And they said, well, how in the world am I robbing God? He says, in tithes and offering.
Amen.
In tithes and offering. He says, because if you would do this thing, if you would pay, he says, I'll open up the windows.
Amen.
And I'm going to pour you out a blessing.
Amen.
It will cause the windows of heaven to open. Is that all right?
Amen.
Sounds right. Amen. I'm just preaching today because I'm so grateful. I'm talking about today trusting in God and not in man.
Amen.
Honey, man will promise you this whole world.
Yes. Yes.
And at the end of the day, say, I'm sorry, it just didn't work out that way.
Amen.
But God won't do that to you.
Thank you.
He won't do that. If he said, and he said that he will not change. If it came out of my mouth, he said, I will not even alter it.
Amen.
See, men, they alter, they change their mind. Situations come up in their lives. When I talked to you before, we were here. But we're not there anymore.
Amen.
Am I right?
Amen.
So God, we put all of our confidence and our trust in God. So we have to have a revelation of him being the one that's being our provider. Abraham had to understand that, so God was dealing with it. And folks said, well, I don't know why they taking up offerings, and this is real stuff. This is real stuff. I've heard this stuff before, so I'm not just saying it. But there's some poor folks in the church. I don't know why they want to have an appreciation for the pastor, birthday party, or whatever. I'm just preaching under the anointing now. And there's some poor people in the church. There's some people that have needs. You know what? Now, I didn't know why God spoke to me this morning as I'm on the freeway. And as I'm coming, I could hear those words, people saying, there's some poor people in the church. And that we just need to address these issues. Well, the word came to me when the lady with the alabaster box broke that oil and started putting it on Jesus and putting it on his feet. What did they say? She shouldn't be doing that. We could have sold this and gave it to the poor.
Right.
We could have dealt with the poor with this. What did Jesus say? Jesus said the poor is going to always be with us.
Amen.
That's a good place to clap. You know why he said that? He said, don't worry about it. I'll take care of them. But you do what you need to do. Come on, somebody. Don't you worry about it. But you see, those people's hearts weren't right.
Amen.
Every time you see that in the Bible, people coming against that.
Yes.
There's something going on the inside.
Amen.
There's something going on inside.
Yes.
Am I not right?
Amen.
But Jesus said the poor is going to always be there.
Yes.
There's going to always be there. But we need to do what we need to do.
Amen.
And what is that you need to do? Put your confidence, your trust in God.
Amen.
Abraham had to put his trust in God. Here God is telling him to take him and his son to go up into the mountains. And the little son, and I won't say that he was a little because he was much older than most folks think he was.
Right.
Well, he took him on up to Mount Moriah. And whatever God spoke to him, I believe Abraham was willing to do it.
Amen.
Regardless to how close it was to him. Sometimes we have to separate those things that are so close to us and do what thus says the Lord.
Amen.
I believe that Abraham had a revelation that God was going to bring him out okay, that everything was going to work out all right. Why? Because when he went up there, and this is Genesis the 22nd chapter, when he went up there, I believe that he understood that God to be a provider.
Amen.
He knew that God would make a way. And when the little son asked him, what's happening here? He let him know, don't worry about it. Why don't you get that for me, Sister Renee? Don't worry about it. You see, we don't have to worry about it. He encouraged Isaac to let him know, don't worry, God will what? Provide.
Amen.
The Lord will provide. You don't have to make a way for it. If God gave you the vision, what? He's going to give you what? Provision.
Yes. Amen.
He's going to provide for it. He gave us this building, and guess what? He provides for it. Come on, somebody, and clap your hands. Sometimes we need a fresh revelation.
Yes.
We need to be renewed in our minds. Come on, somebody.
Amen.
So Abraham said God would provide himself a lamb. He had already told the other guys, don't worry about it. He said, me and what? The lad will be back.
Yes.
In other words, he's letting them know. We will be
Amen.
back.
Amen.
God's going to provide.
Yes, right.
It may appear that it's a hard thing, but God's going to provide.
All right.
God's going to provide. And as they got up on the mountain there, when Abraham's getting ready to kill his own son, God speaks out. And what does it say, Sister Renee? God speaks out and let him know, hold up, Abraham. What is it? It's a little ground
Yes.
in the bush. Can you read that?
Genesis chapter 22, verse 11. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him.
Don't do that. I was just checking you out.
Amen.
I was just testing you. God doesn't want your money. He
Amen.
doesn't want what you have. Sometimes he's just checking us out.
Amen.
He just wants to know how close we are following him. How are you leaning and depending and trusting in him? you know what I'm talking about today.
Yes. Yeah.
If this message is not for you, it's for me.
Amen.
Is that all right? Even if it is to your own hurt. He was at Abraham. He said, I'm just testing you. He says, no. Now listen to this. Go ahead, Sister Renee.
For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thine son, thine only son, from me.
I know you reverence me now. I know you fear God now. I just want to know if you really was trusting and depending and really putting your confidence in God. Honey, this message is straight off. This is off the press.
Amen.
Right off of the press. He's saying, what? I just want to know if you really reverence and if you really fear God. Is that all right?
Amen.
God wants to know, do we reverence God? Are we trusting in the Lord with all of our hearts? And leaning not to our own understanding? Do we know that God is faithful and just? Do we know that God will bring you out of anything? He'll bring you out of debt. Oh, yes. He's your provider. He is not limited in resources. He has all the resources that you need to take care of your business.
Yes, Lord.
Yes.
He's not limited.
Amen.
We're limited.
Amen.
We're finite. But he's infinite.
Hallelujah.
You say, Abraham, I just wanted to know if you reverence me. I really wanted to know where your real love was. Isn't that wonderful to know that God is just sometimes just checking us out? Somebody said, well, you know what, I don't know if we ought to be having to deal with all that. Honey, you ought to be excited about this word today because this word is going to cause you to prosper. This word is going to cause you to get closer to God. And this word is going to give you the confidence that you can trust God for anything. Read that 14th verse.
And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah-Jireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of the Lord it shall be seen.
Listen, he named that place. He says, listen, I'm going to name this place that God is my provider, that God will make provisions for me. Abraham understood it now. He says, I'm going to leave it up here for folk to know that the Lord is your provider.
Glory.
God does everything in perfect timing.
Yes, he does.
Whatever you need, he's going to do it in perfect timing. Is that all right? He's never late. He's never late. You think, well, I need it right now. God knows exactly when you need it.
Yes.
And that's when he's going to provide it. Is
Amen.
that all right?
Amen.
He knows how to do it. God knows how to meet your needs.
Amen.
Amen.
He has his own method.
Yes, God.
God has his own method. He will do it. He will meet every need. But first, God wants to know, can I even trust you? God is blessing some people. There's people right here that made many sacrifices. And they've been pretty blessed. They have the testimony that the Lord will supply their every need.
Amen.
We have testimonies of God supplying our every need.
Amen.
We have testimonies of God supplying finances when we need it. We have testimonies of the Lord bringing folks out of debt. We have testimonies of the Lord healing people. I told the churches the other day, I was up at the hospital with my nephew. They were not looking for him to live. He's struggling for his life. But you know what? They wanted us to tell them, stop. Do not resuscitate him anymore. They resuscitated him 5 times that day.
Ah.
They didn't want to resuscitate him anymore. But guess what? He's still living. He's taking commands now. You see, God wants to defy everything.
Amen.
He wants us to know that He is the one that's doing it.
Yes.
Listen, this doctor called 2 different states to my relatives trying to get them to say, do not resuscitate. Do not resuscitate. We don't want to resuscitate. And then they'll say, no pressure.
Ah.
No pressure. Yeah, you are trying to pressure us.
Amen.
I thank God for my nieces because they held on. They believed God was going to do it. Now we know He's still in God's hands, but that's been about a week ago happening, and He's still here. Taking care. The Lord knows how to do whatever you need. He has His own method. Yes, the doctors are physicians. But guess what? He's the great physician.
Amen. Glory.
He's the great physician. He knows He's perfect in even supplying whatever you need. He will supply your very needs. These are things that He was trying to get Abraham to see. That listen, I'm going to supply your needs, Abraham. Don't get frightened. God already knew about the future because guess what? You all know the ram was already there.
All right.
The ram was on the mountain when he got up there. See, God already has everything in place. Everything is already in place. The ram was up on the mountain. It was in place. Whatever you have need of today is already in place.
Amen.
Amen.
The ram is in the bush. You see how the world takes everything out of the Bible. You know how they do and say, there's going to be a ram in the bush for me. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about this. They believe that something's going to happen.
Ah.
The Lord's going to meet my need or something's going to happen. But they go around the world saying, well, there's a ram in the bush. Don't worry. There's going to be a ram in the bush. Why? Because they know about the story. They know this really happened. They know that God will provide for His people and that God is faithful. He's just. And that whatever He sends His word out to do, He says it will not return unto Him void, and that it will accomplish that thing that He has sent it to do.
All right now.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen, and guess what? Man can't stop it.
Amen.
Clap your hands there. Man can't stop it. It's going to happen. God has His own strategy on how He does things. Aren't you glad about that?
Yes.
He has His own strategy. He knows how to do it. He wants us only thing He wants us to do about all the things that God has brought me out of, I don't know what else that could come up. But I will not put my confidence in God. You just need to put your confidence in God to whatever it is you know that the Lord is getting ready to bring you out of it. And when you come out, you're going to be victorious. Is that all right? You're going to be like Abraham. You're going to know that He is your provider. If we don't know anything else, we should know that the Lord is my provider. Now, He may use some men to do this, but it's coming from Him.
Amen.
That's why we can preach the gospel. We don't have to soften it up or do whatever. We can just, whatever the word says, we can stand on it.
Amen.
Because it all comes from God anyway.
Yes, it does.
How many of you know that?
Yes.
It all comes from God anyway. But the Lord wants to build you up today to start trusting Him for your situation. Doesn't matter how dark it gets. Whatever you're going through, stand to your feet. Whatever you're going through. I believe the Lord is trying to let you know that He's able to take care of it. That He's able to bring you out. That He's able to work a miracle for you. Maybe you're being tried today. Maybe you're being tested. And you're wondering, how am I going to come out of this? Sometimes we don't really know. And we wonder sometimes, how did I get myself into this? I've been in places and I say, how in the world did I get in this? But God brought me out anyway. And He wants to do the same for you. He wants you to know that He's faithful. And that He'll never leave you nor forsake you. He's in the midst of whatever you're going through today. He's in it. He's there. But He's just saying, would you put your confidence in me today? Would you trust me with your life situations? Would you put your life in my hands today? Would you trust me with this situation today? He just want to know, can we trust Him with it? I don't know about you, but I'm going to give everything, that all those things that seem to have been on my mind previously this week, I'm going to give them to the Lord. How about you? Man has no power over you. God has the final say. How many of you know that?
Amen.
Man can tell you, no, we can't do it. And God will come right back and say yes. God will come right back and say, do what they say do. Isn't that wonderful?
Amen.
Do whatever they say do. He knows how to open up doors like that. He knows how to bring you out. If I would say anything, take your hands off of it and allow God. Humble yourself before the mighty hand of God. Put your situation and circumstance. You'll see what God's going to do. God's opening doors up for people. I'm seeing those windows open. I'm hearing testimony that windows have been opening. And folk are like, wow. was going to do that. I didn't know the Lord was going to bless me like that. There's some blessings in store for you. You're just being tested right now. You're being tried. But at the end of the day, God's going to bring you out victorious. The Lord's going to bring you out victorious. If you're here today and you need prayer, I'm going to ask you to just come up and I'll just touch and agree with you. If you're here, we just want to just pray for you. Bear with us, bear with us. We're going to do our communion service also. But we want to do what thus says the Lord, because the Lord's getting ready to open some windows up.